Hello, everybody, and welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. It is your girl, Jessica Milagros. I believe it's just me today. Obviously, it's 1:30 where I'm at, 2:30 Eastern. Everybody in the comments, I see you. I love you. Before we get to talking to our special guest, I want to remind everybody to click like, subscribe, click to receive the notifications if you're not already. This is my birthday week, y'all. Well, my birthday is on Thursday, so absolutely 1 week away from my birthday, and I am spending it with all my favorites from the Big Brother 23 cats, especially my females, my queens. I am so excited to introduce you to today's guest. She was very, very loved on the show. There's so much. I'm sorry. It's if you see this, I'm not really crying. I have a teary eye today. I have no idea why. Yes, we are. Krista, we are freaking hyped for this interview. I love Brit too much. I think that is a general consensus amongst a lot of people. Just letting you know a few things. Like I said, click like, subscribe, click to receive the notifications. We also have some of the girls left that we are going to be interviewing at the end of the week. Alyssa, Claire, SB, we will have DX. So that is, if you're subscribed to the channel, you will be in tune and know when those interviews are coming up. Also, I was wanting to say that we also have a Hearts of Reality campaign. It's in the comments if you'd like to make a donation for Hearts of Reality. All of that information is down there. Also, Super Chat is a great way to support your fellow house guests. If there is a question that you want to be asking Britini, definitely put it in the chats. However, since I'm by myself, it's going to be a little bit for me to read all the comments. So if you really want a pressing question to ask Britini, you can do it through Super Chat to make sure that we notice it. Without further ado, yes, we are going to say, hey, thanks, Karen. Thanks so much. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Okay, so I think we're ready. We're ready to introduce Ms. Britini D'Angelo. I'm so excited.
Hi! Jessica, I am such a huge fan of you. Oh my God. I loved you in 21. I just thought you were a queen amongst queens. And I was so upset because obviously in jury, when we do our interviews, we can't like talk directly to you. So I was like, Jessica, I love you. I hope you can feel this through this recording of me saying things. But now I actually get to talk to you. So I'm so excited.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to have you, Britini, too, because you are such a ball of energy. And first of all, I want to give shout out to Brandon. Brandon is one of your stands. He is a stan.
Yes,
Brandon.
Brandon.
He's been following our recap since we started.
Yeah.
And he has always been very, very, very vocal about how much he loves you. So I just want to give Brandon a quick shout out. He says, Queen Britini. He is bowing down to you.
Brandon, I love you too. I love all of you. But I can't thank you guys enough for the love and the support. It's honestly coming out of the house, you have no idea what to expect. And I've been home for a week today. So it's been such a whirlwind, but in the absolute best possible way. It really
Yes, that is so great because not many people get to say that. So it's always like it's either the house guest is like, this has been amazing, or other house guest is like, this is real crap.
right.
This is shit. So you got I mean, first of all, congratulations on such an epic season. Seriously, I think I mean, we here at Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. Everybody either agrees or disagrees, and that's fine. We respect everybody's opinions, as long as they're respectful. But I can say, arguably, like your season has been one of the best seasons in a very, very long time. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I just heard that it got such a positive response. I mean, you got to respect really good gameplay. You know what I mean? Like our season just had really good gameplay. And I think that, I mean, obviously, with the cookout just being such a dominant alliance and literally duping us all, and like it was so like I've never been so happy to be like I got eliminated, and like this is
Wait,
the alliance that
okay.
took me out. I felt honored. I was like, it
Yeah.
was the cookout, man. Like, come on. Like, how are you even mad about that? You
So,
can't be.
so were you, but I guess before you knew the cookout was the cookout,
Yeah.
were you mad? Like, I mean, you were the first in jury.
Yes.
So even like congratulations on making it to jury. We did
Thank
our
you so much.
we did our kind of exit interview, but I didn't personally get to meet you because you were in jury.
Yes.
So you were very contained in what you could find out and what you couldn't. So I'm
Absolutely.
CBS was very good at trying to keep you guys out of the loop, and try to figure it out for yourselves.
Absolutely.
But what did you when you found out? How when did you find out?
Okay, so I found out about the cookout. I did not find out the first week that I was in jury because I'll be honest, I really had no idea. I was also an earlier eviction, so I wouldn't have seen it. There was enough people in the house where it was harder to kind of tell. Then DX came to jury, and Kylan said in his goodbye message to him that there was a secret alliance that had been working together since day one, and no member of the alliance had been evicted. So at that point, we thought it was Azza, Tiffany, Kylan, and X. And we didn't know about Big D and Hannah, but we said them. But then I figured out the duos part, but I got Oz's duo wrong. I thought Oz's duo was Big D, but I was like, wait a second, her duo was me. And so then SB came into the jury house. It was SB's week when she said that Kylan had mentioned to her 6 people. Then we figured it out. We didn't know it was called the cookout, but we just called it the 6 until Tiffany came to jury and told us it was called the cookout.
That was amazing. And
Yeah.
so you all had really no idea. I keep on it's kind of amazing to me because everybody that we've interviewed has just been like, I've never seen this group of people together in one space. How
No.
like so you didn't think that like Big D, or I'm sure you didn't think that Big D or Ozzo were in this because they were with you 24/7.
Oh, no way. They were always with me, but there was a rule apparently in the cookout where there couldn't be more than 2 members of the cookout in the same room with each other. But then I found out too after coming off the air that like I would sleep, and once I was dead asleep, because I'm a hard sleeper. Like when I fall asleep, it's game over. Even in the light, it's like game over for me. They would talk about the cookout as I was sleeping. Like one night, why did I not just like wake up and have to use the bathroom and then hear
Always.
about the cookout? Like that would have been so smart, except for I just was really exhausted, so I slept. But no, they just played it so smart. And the reason why obviously no one in the house could have detected it because, like I said, only 2 people per room. And they were also so attached to the duo, you would have never attached them to each other. And everything that happened in the house from every conversation, the fights that went down, the arguments, the disagreements, those were all real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those were all real to everybody in the house. And they were real things for the cookout members as well. And so you would have never expected that they were working together. But truly speaking, I mean, when you come together for a mission that's so great, I mean, you can conquer all odds. That's what the 6 of them proved this time. You know what I mean? It
Absolutely.
truly is so incredible that 6 people put aside their personal games and what they personally wanted to do for the mission of the 6. It's just it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and you could really tell, and I'm really hoping that you do feel like, I mean, I guess this would be the first time in history that any house guest would be so honored to be taken out by an
Oh,
alliance.
for sure. Oh my God, sign me up. And like my whole thing was like, even I mean, I found it weird the week that I left that Big D literally did not have to campaign at all. And I was campaigning my heart off. I came up with a 6-point plan of why I should stay. And I had DX and Claire fighting for me tooth
Oh,
and nail to stay in that house. But for some reason, it just wasn't grabbing. And when I left the house, I was like, man, why did Big D not have to campaign at all? And that's why I was like, And then it just made, as I got more information, it just made sense. But like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't regret anything, man. It was so much fun. I had a blast. It's just everyone's such good people. We had a good cast. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I
people.
mean, and the thing was is that they all really did care about each and every one of you all, which is, you
Correct.
know, it's something that you really don't see on the seasons in general
Yeah.
because they're usually much more cutthroat. But the amount of love, like, the tears that, that Oz and you have shared
Yep.
and all of those things, I like that was very heartfelt. So like at any point if any of you all felt like you didn't like, I mean, a lot of times in those live feeds, there was that personal struggle, of like keeping that cookout together, or saving y'all,
Oh,
which I
no,
think was
absolutely.
a beautiful thing. We saw a lot of that adversity. We a big shout out to Shelby Anderson. She says, "Thank you for sharing your story. You're amazing. Being in a wheelchair, I know that it's what it's like to be misunderstood and underestimated. Also, my brother has autism, so you helped him a lot as well." How overwhelmed are you with all of the responses that you've gotten, coming out of the
Oh,
house?
oh my gosh, it's been overwhelming, but in the best way possible, Jessica. It has been it's honestly a dream come true. Me going in the Big Brother house originally was way more than winning $750,000. It was just it was so much more than that. You know what I mean? And like the messages that I've gotten and the response that I've gotten from my speech. Because when you have autism and when you decide to go public with that, I mean, I never have before. You take a risk of how are people going to react to you coming out with autism? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times I've shared my story and the response has been so accepting and so loving and so wonderful. But unfortunately, I have had times where I have shared my story and I've been seen as like the help, and I'm like, well, I'm the same person that told you this story 5 minutes ago. Why is your perception changing to me so quickly? And it really was something that I was so scared about. But I cannot thank Big Brother enough because the producers and everyone in charge at CBS was so accommodating and really was like, Britt, you're going to tell this story on your terms. And this is your choice. And I told them from day one, I wanted finale. And they were like, okay, we're going to make it happen. Like finale it is. And then I got to write my entire finale speech. That was all me. I wrote it in my dressing room 2 hours before we went on the show for the jury. But just the
I love it.
response has been incredible. I the fact that people see me as Brittany first and they don't see me as a disability or a diagnosis is everything that I wanted to hit home because we are so much more than a diagnosis.
Absolutely.
Of course I live with autism every single day and I've been living with this disability for 22 years of my life and I have come so far, and honestly when I think of how far I've come, I mean I was nonverbal, no eye contact and no social cues at 22 months. I didn't talk until I was 3.5, but I have
Wow.
made up for it since then, I will say. But my whole thing is that it's always the joke that I get to throw. But
I love it.
like looking back at my journey, if I could have inspired one person, it would have been worth it. But I have inspired so many to come forward. I've heard so many people be like, I'm gonna apply for Big Brother next year because you can do it. Like we can do this. Autism is not a hindrance. And I want people to start focusing on what we can do as opposed to what we can't do. There's a huge
Yeah.
difference in that. You know what I mean? So person first and what we can do is the message to drive home. But it's been so overwhelming in the best way possible is the greatest way to put it.
And I love that. I love that for you. So many people as you're talking, they're saying, "Preach." Why am I crying right now? You are,
I'm crying
you are
internally
totally,
too.
yeah, internally, right? No, I love your message because, look, my best friend has a son who was diagnosed with autism right around
Yeah.
the same time. Was completely nonverbal at about the same time, like was close to about 3.5, almost 4 years old
Yeah.
before he could start saying it. And it's been a journey. And he's right now, he's 8.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen tremendous strides with him. So like, at least like watching, a story like yours and seeing how you are such an advocate for this, it really warms my heart. I love it. And of course, when a Big Brother player comes in, when a house guest comes in with a purpose, with being and setting an example,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit different than just playing the game, right? You're trying to represent in a completely different way,
Absolutely.
and it's very, very important. I always say, diversity in all aspects, shapes, forms, like that is very, very much needed because there are people in this world that really do need to see people like yourself, people like myself, people that aren't just a regular the regular status
Yeah.
quo. Like they need to see what is possible in order for them to fight for that and know that their dreams can come true. So
Absolutely.
I totes give you so much. And girl, and you are also just a ball of energy. So let's just talk about this ball of energy. But first, oh my gosh, Tracy, this girl, Miss History, she says, I can't watch. Thank you for the super chat. She says, I can't watch, but I got the notification. Happy birthday, Jessica. Britini, thank you for your representation of people who are indeed said, right? You can't even know the impact. And like Miss History has been a great supporter
Yeah.
for a long time. Tracy, she's amazing. She's in Dallas. We love you so much. Thank you.
We love
Thank
you.
you so much. We love you so much. Tracy has been, I mean, she is while y'all were gone, there was a Big Brother boxing match. It was US versus Canada, and
I
I
heard
got to
about
meet,
that.
yeah, and I got to meet her there, and it was the nicest thing. It was amazing. She's an amazing person. So let me tell you that she's great.
That just means so much coming from her, man. And it's crazy too, because I couldn't agree with you more, Jessica. I mean, if I listened to everyone along my journey who told me that I can't do something or that I wouldn't be
Yes.
able to do something, I wouldn't be half the woman that I am today. And like it's so crazy that when, at least for all, I mean, it's for so much of my life, when I said, like, when I was going through early intervention, when I said I have autism, or my parents said that their daughter has autism, it was like, oh, she's not going to be able to do this, she's not going to be able to, like, why does it always go to the should not, could not, not going to be
Yes.
able to, like, that needs to stop. We are
Yeah.
fully capable of doing anything we set our minds to. Just give us the chance to show you we can do it. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
then that's the whole thing, is like, autism is not everything. Like, I am so much more than my diagnosis, but like, autism has become my superpower. I certainly would not be as hard of a worker, as dedicated to pursuing my dreams, or as passionate for what I do, if it weren't for the fact that I was diagnosed and I've had to work as hard as I've had to get to the seat where I am right now. But like, it's my superpower. It's not all of me. It doesn't define me, but it is part of me. And it's my superpower. That's what I call it now. It's literally my superpower.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. So let's get to how you got on the show, because a lot
Yes.
of people there's a lot of hopefuls here. Obviously, you've
Yes.
inspired a lot of people. So tell me, how is it that you came across like wanting to be on the show, and that process?
Yeah, so I was inspired by Derek and Cody's The Hitmen in season 16. Was the season that I was inspired by. I started watching the show when I was 18, and then I applied for season 22, made it to semis, and then I applied for 23. And honestly, the biggest running joke of this entire casting process was, when was I going to get cut? I'm not even kidding. That was the biggest running joke in my family, was like, okay, we did a round. I would do an interview, and then we would wait for the call. My mom and dad were like, okay, you're going to get cut this round. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, duh. And then they'd be like, oh, you've made it to the next round. And I was like, what? Like, y'all are still interested. Like, y'all really want me. And then we would get to, obviously, you know the process, but we would get through all of them. And then it was like top 50. And I was like, what? Was like, what is happening? It was so crazy. But no, it's always been a dream for me to play, but I've also never seen a contestant like me before on Big Brother. Like, I've never seen someone like me, and I wanted to be able to break a barrier, and break that wall down, and do it. Not just for me, but for every single kid, teenager, and adult who's living with a disability. I was honored to go and play it for everyone, man.
Yeah, and you did such a great job. So with okay, let's talk TikTok, because you were known as like okay, when this started and we saw your bios, we're like, "Oh wow, this girl is a ball of energy." Not only like this, I was like, I was very genuinely curious to see how people would react to you, because it seemed like you were dancing everywhere. Like
Oh,
it
for
was
sure.
just it was just, and you're like such a ball of energy. We had that, we had Tommy. So
Yeah.
Tommy was definitely gave me very much Tommy vibes in that sense, because he was always like, I'm singing, I'm dancing, everything was,
Yeah.
and that is always great, because it gets really boring in that house. So you kind of had to have someone. What inspired you to like do like the whole TikTok? Like, you've been doing this for a while, yes?
Yeah, so I started during COVID. I had
So that's not long.
No,
Okay.
not long at all. So I started during COVID. I was on the road with Missoula Children's Theater. I was teaching theater to 64 kids a week, like a full like musical. And I came back, obviously was laid off due to the pandemic. And then I was like, you know what? I want to keep dancing. I want to keep training. I've been a trained dancer for 19 years now. And so I was like, okay, let me learn from some choreographers and let me keep my skills tight. And then just one video went viral, the next video went viral, another one went viral, and it just kind of blossomed into this whole thing of like, now I dance for positivity. I dance for people who need uplifting. I dance for cancer patients, those fighting diseases, those that have gone through traumatic events in their lives. I dance to bring them hope, and I dance to bring a smile to everyone's face. And just because social media can be so positive, but it also is inherently negative if you think about it. Because then
Absolutely.
obviously you can hide behind a screen, you can comment all the negative things you want to, and nobody knows it's you if you really want to hide yourself. So I love my page to be a positive space where everybody can just feel that they can be themselves. And that's really how it started. And that's what it's become. I actually filmed a TikTok in this outfit right before I did this interview. So,
Look at that. I can't do a TikTok for the life of me. Like I did one, I might have like maybe 10 posted and one dance with my daughter. And I was like, I can't.
Jessica, I got you. We'll do one together. I got you. I will teach you the ropes.
Brittany, I mean, I will say I have rhythm. That's not the problem.
Oh no, you absolutely have rhythm.
I have the rhythm. It's just I don't know. There's something about I did one. It was one with my daughter and one with Kat from my
Yes.
season. Kat Gunn. Like those are the only two that I have. I always keep on saying I need to get back on TikTok. I need to get back on TikTok, and for some reason that it takes me like days. How long does it take you to do a TikTok?
To film it? Okay, so
Yes.
I don't film it on my phone. I actually film on a Canon F150 and then I transfer it over.
Yeah.
But I mean, to learn a dance, it takes me about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long it is. But then to record it and edit it over, I mean, probably like 30 minutes for the whole process. Right around. I've gotten it pretty snappy. Like
I
it's
was gonna
pretty
say
like
that is record.
amazing.
That is record. Who here? I don't. And here it takes me 30 minutes to even think if I'm going to do a TikTok. I just like it'll take me 30 minutes to be like, do I want to do this TikTok or do I want to do this TikTok or no, I'm not going to do this TikTok. And then I wasted 30 minutes and here you
Yeah.
already had posted one. You already made one.
It's funny because the longest process for me with TikTok is the research. Like I'll go through like it usually was like every Saturday or Sunday. I'll go through people's TikTok pages and I will check what sounds worked for them in the last week. I will get the link, I will post it, and those are the ones that I do. I pick 7. And I'm like, okay, so this one hit for this person, you are hitting this sound that works, this is that. The research probably takes about an hour. Just trying to figure out what sounds are hitting, what trends are hitting. So that's really where I spend a lot of my time. And then also you kind of, I just because of my For You page is always filled with dances, just because I'm on dance TikTok because it works and I love dance TikTok. You learn them from people just watching enough people do it. And I'm like, okay, so this is this move and then this move and then you go like this. Like
I think
you learn it as you watch it.
My For Me page is not dance TikTok, I realize. I have a few, but I think a majority of mine is like would it be considered travel TikTok? I don't know.
Travel
Maybe
TikTok.
like is that like where you just see like if you're in Chicago, you have to make sure that you visit this place
You're on
located
like
in
itinerary TikTok.
The what?
You're on like itinerary TikTok.
Yeah. I'm so boring. Does that make me a horrible person? Oh my gosh.
No, not at all.
I like to visit places and I'm like, I need to know where the best, I don't know. That's how I found out about our
Absolutely.
Starbucks, like the big Starbucks or, like these beautiful gardens in these random places. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I do. But I was thinking maybe
I should. TikTok.
There's a lawyer TikTok.
There's a lawyer TikTok. My sister's on that. That's how I knew X was lying. I didn't know if he was a lawyer or a cop, but I said my sister's a 2L at the University of Florida. And obviously a 2L is a second year law student. And you're only going to know what a 2L is if you've been one or
exactly.
have been one. And X went like this when I said, I was like, yeah, Am has a 2L. And he was like, he's the only one that turned his head.
And that's where you caught him.
And that's where I caught him. I was like, okay, he's either this or he's either like an undercover cop or something like that. Like he's got like FBI or something. But I had my suspicions early on.
Let's talk about these. Okay, so you didn't tell anybody about anything. You didn't tell them that you were you didn't tell them you were a TikTok dancer. You didn't tell them you were a black belt. You didn't tell them
Toby, Toby. Hey, there's no one here. Okay, we're good.
Fine. Don't worry, mine are sleeping on the side. But so you didn't even tell them in jury?
No. Well, no, I told them about TikTok and jury.
Okay.
But the lie that I gave them in jury was that I was not allowed to say this on the show, that I have a BFA in theater performance. I told them that I just had one bachelor's degree, was in communications, but when I was in my undergrad, I actually dual degreed. So I did a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater Performance and a Bachelor of Communications at the same time.
Oh, wow.
I just couldn't say the theater one because they wanted to show me as a teacher and not an actor.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So what surprised you the most about like everybody else's stuff? Like, what were you like, oh my God?
I would have to say Chada being a prodigy. Oh my God. Like
Really?
Chada being a prodigy. Here, you know what? I'm going to like relocate outside. Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, we're moving. I would probably say Chada, you're seeing the inside of my house, everyone. I would probably say Chada being a prodigy or Claire being an AI engineer. I'm sorry, like what? That's just like woman in STEM, kick butt. Come on.
That was me. Well, that's not fun.
Look at everybody. We're looking at my house.
This is why things happen live. Hold on. Like
this is why things happen. I'm so sorry. Here we go.
This is when things happen.
I thought my dogs were gonna cooperate.
I thought I was just like my light fell off. Okay. So oh yay, that's beautiful lighting. That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, so One Gorgeous Godzilla, thank you for the super chat. He says, can we please get a BB23 TikTok dance?
Yo,
we deserve.
I'll get on it. I will definitely get on it. Chad and I will collab a little bit. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. So okay. So let's talk a little bit about that. A little bit about gameplay. Just kind of see where your head was at.
Absolutely.
It seemed like you and Chada seemed like y'all danced together.
Yes.
Y'all were like really, really vibing personally.
Yeah.
Gameplay though, you kind of wanted her out. So what was just a little bit. So what was it that you saw that you were trying to convince people to also see?
Yeah, it was just, from like day 3, I just knew how intelligent of a girl she was. Like, she's just so smart. And the way, like, if you really pay attention to like how she speaks to you, like, oh my God, her vocabulary, the way that just the words just flow, like, you could just tell how smart she is. And then like day 7, she's like, yeah, so like this happened on this day and the seconds were this and this. And like, I obviously knew the information too, but I was like, oh my God, wait, you know the information too? I was like, I've been studying this from like hours, but like, you know this information? But no, I just knew that Chada was so smart, but I understood that after she stayed on week 4, that it would just be smarter for me to work with her and work against her, which is why like the week that I was leaving, I was pitching to her like hell to try and see if she would keep me. But obviously the cookout explained it, and obviously I was leaving no matter what. But like week 5, like right after our week 3 conversation, when she really opened up to me about what was happening week 3, we really bonded from there. And then at that point I was like, you know what, like Chada could be someone that I work with, and she could be someone that I vibe with. And also week 5, right when DX had put me up on the block, she came into my room right after I was nominated. And I obviously knew I was going up, but she came into my room right afterwards and she's like, look, Britini, I don't know what's going on, but you have my vote to stay. And she like was very, very open to be like, I don't care who you're next to, you have my vote to stay 100%. And like that meant a lot to me. So I knew that we were creating a really good relationship.
Yeah, I ended up seeing that too. It was very interesting. So we always want to know, being inside of the house, there's a lot of energy that I feel that viewers don't get to see.
Yeah,
they see everything.
Yeah.
In terms of like things that we don't see. So they see other conversations. They see generally what's about to happen.
Yes.
But there's a vibe. There's a vibe that doesn't get noticed. It's unless you're in the house, because you have that time in what I would call solitary confinement, when you're in like the HOH room, when you're in lockdowns, when there's certain things where you only can only see each other,
Yes.
and talk to each other and not talk game and just get to know each other more.
Yep.
And I mean, when that could have been something easy, like we can go back to like the Xavier thing, when you're talking about your sister.
Yep.
If you're talking to about your sister to during lockdown and you said that word and then you saw him turn around, that's information that you note that nobody else gets to see.
Correct.
And then people will wonder why you're trying to target somebody. I mean, not saying that you were, but I'm saying, like, if that was the reason as to why you were very privy to a lot of information, that I feel like people wouldn't understand that.
Yeah.
It's always just, players versus fans thing back and forth, where it's like you don't see everything, and it's like, no, nobody sees everything. Absolutely,
No, I mean,
anything.
even being in the house, we don't see everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't see everything. They don't see everything. It's very limited context that we have. I mean, they see a hell of a lot.
Yes.
So I totally get that. So I know you were dancing. I know you were dancing every morning. There must have been like those 3 songs.
Yes.
Okay, so for those who are watching who don't know, every morning,
baby.
Yes, best part of our Big Brother mornings is that we get woken up to music.
Yes.
And in the beginning, it's amazing. Like that first day where you're not expecting it, and you get woken up to music, and everybody gets up and they're dancing because they're happy to be there.
Yeah.
And then it starts to fall off. And then only a few people wake up. And then, I'm sure, Britini, were you the one who always woke up and danced every morning?
Every day. Every day. No, Big D and I had a routine. So what would happen is Big D would, like, once Bob would come over the loud, or Colonel as we called him, would come over the loudspeaker and be like, "Hello, house guests. It's time to get up for the day." Big D would sprint to the shower so that he would have 3 songs in the shower. As like 3 songs to jam to as he was gone. I would run to the bathroom right after him. I would like take a second to like get my glasses on. Oh my God, no, but I was dancing to every one of them. Even if I didn't know it. I was like, yeah, it's the morning. I was pumped. It was just the best way to wake up. And then they also did some Broadway show tunes for me too, and I flipped out.
That's awesome. Which ones?
Broadway, man.
Which one?
Oh, they did Rocky Horror.
Wow.
Which was super fun. They did Footloose one day too.
Oh, that one's they did that one too. That's awesome. Let's say Make It Blue, a Disney adventure. They say, "Hey girl, Caitlin here." Britini, one of the questions I never got to ask you, being autistic myself, was the first few weeks really overwhelming and hard to process? How was your first, how was your how was it to kind of get in there and acclimate to such a big change?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And firstly, shout out to Caitlin. Caitlin's one of my really close friends. Caitlin and I actually met on TikTok. She is a wonderful, wonderful human being. But no, honestly, the first few weeks of me being in the house, I really came in with a very open mind, and I had a really good game plan going in terms of like how I was going to process everything, because I knew it was going to happen so quick. And something that I still do on a day-to-day basis in my own life is I have to hear it to understand it. I'm a huge sub-vocalizer, even through undergraduate, master's careers. Like if I don't hear it, I don't get it. That's just part of my disability. And also, obviously, my processing speed is not up to par with most people's. And so my strategy was to come in with a very open mind and then use DR sessions as a way to process what I was dealing with. So the DR, like how my DR sessions worked, was the first hour, I would literally just process what was going on. I was like, okay, this person was in this room. This person was in this room. Okay, they were talking to these people and they went in here. This must mean this. And I would go through it, and then we would start filming my DRs. Like I would use the DR as a way to process everything. And it really worked out very well, because I was like, this is the one time where I can be alone and just get through everything in the quickest amount of time possible, because I was alone.
Yeah.
So and then obviously, honestly, crying really, really helps process it. And also, like, it was so funny because I come home and my parents are like, "Britt, like, they portrayed you as the crier." And I was like, really? I was like, I did not cry nearly the most in that house. I cried because my whole thing was, whenever I was feeling a certain emotion, if I had tears coming, like letting them out and getting the endorphins out of me, I was like, ooh, you know what? This is working. Like, I'm getting over this so quickly, because there's a huge difference, as you know, from having emotions in the Big Brother house to being an emotional player. And
Yes.
I had emotions in the house, but I was not an emotional player.
I'm right there with you. I feel like I was exactly that person. I even said it in my in one of my mini block speeches, you know, when I was on the block. It was just like I mentioned as like I'm in I'm an emotional person, but I'm a not emotional player, you
Correct.
know, and those are two very different things,
Very.
very, very different. Because when you base decisions on emotion, it's literally like, I don't like them. They don't make they make me feel this way. I want them out. And it has nothing to do with gameplay. It has
No.
everything to do. I mean, that's one way to play, but the other way is just like, well, I don't necessarily get along with them, but this is good for my game because it targets on them, and I can probably put my emotions to the side, or I
Correct.
can put, you know, not be hurt by what they did and not make
Yeah.
a rash decision based
Absolutely.
on something that could have slipped out, maybe something that was said in the heat of the moment, you know, all of these other things, because that happens all the time. I mean,
Absolutely. And no, my whole thing too is like a huge part of my game. I mean, I wasn't in either one of the big alliance and I still made it to jury. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't in the Royal Flush and I wasn't in the cookout. But the way that I played my game was, you know what? Let me get my emotions out and then let me refocus myself and be like,
yeah,
okay, this is the game that I want to play. But it was really the relationships that I crafted in that house with members of the Royal Flush and obviously members of the cookout, like you guys saw, that
yeah,
I created real organic relationships with them, that I had people fighting for me on both sides, which
yeah.
was fantastic. Which I was like, that's, I got out of the house and I was like, yo, I wasn't in the Royal Flush, I wasn't in the cookout, and I made it to jury. Accomplished, like mission accomplished. You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
best. That's the best thing that could happen in
Absolutely.
reality, if you have a dominant alliance like that, to actually just make it to jury is an
Yeah.
accomplishment in itself.
Like,
You know.
I had like the that, like, that was my biggest thing, was like sitting down and like really getting to know people for people. You know what I mean? Obviously, like the same way that I wanted them to get to know me like that. You know what I mean? So, oh, sorry. Oh my God. Okay. So UPS is here. What is going on? Okay.
Let's interview the UPS man. No,
Oh my God. Okay. We're going to take you to go sign a package.
let's sign a package,
This
y'all.
is so
Everybody,
crazy.
we're going with Brittany to sign
We're
a
going with me
UPS
to sign a
package.
package. Hello. How are you? Yes, that's me.
Sorry about.
You are totally fine.
This is wonderful. I love this. See, this is what happens when you do things live, and this is what I love. The power of live. Yes, the power of a live TV at its best. We are now with Brittany signing a UPS package because this
Here it
is
is,
life.
guys.
Yeah, this is life. This is
Oh my God.
life.
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have shown the address. I will cover that up. Fine. It's actually from Big Brother. Not even gonna lie.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Look at that, y'all. She's doing a
Thank you so
Big
much.
Brother related interview, and she gets mail from Big Brother. How interesting.
Okay, we should probably definitely blur that part out. I totally did not realize my address was on that side.
I
That's
don't
fine.
think,
We're
yeah,
good.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we're good.
Um,
I'm so sorry. I am the only one home. This is literally the weirdest. I'm so sorry.
Make it blue. I know that. Yeah, I do know that ND means neurodivergent. I just couldn't. I didn't. I'm not very versed within the technical terms, so I try not to really say too much.
Yeah.
You know, just because I just prefer to leave it to those who are very well versed in that area. But thank you for those of you all who didn't know what ND meant, if people are messaging each other back and forth. Gosh, okay, so where were we? I'm just now trying to like,
We
you
were
threw me
talking
off.
about strategy in the game and stuff, and the
We
fact
were
that,
talking
like,
about strategy. Yes.
yes, and just like that was my whole thing, was relationships and trying to cultivate really like organic relationships with people, so that obviously I was on the block a lot, so I used the block to my advantage. That's why I had to
Yeah.
keep the static Christian when I did, because that was the block. That was the block move. I was playing the block game with
Yeah.
a lot of great relationships, and even the week that I left, a lot of people wanted me to stay. So something was working right. Obviously, the cookout was the overarching power that made all of us leave, but it was just still so fun. Like it was
Yeah.
so fun to strategize and play the game, and just it was great.
So I kind of have a idea of who this would be, but I'm going to let you answer it.
Sure.
Krista says, question, if you won HOH the week that you went to jury, who would have been your noms? Also, what would have been what would have been her what would your one-on-one process be? We saw the Kyland one-on-one process. We've seen a lot of people do different HOHs, like, during this time frame.
Uh-huh.
Tell us, Brittany, if you were to have one HOH, who
Yeah.
at that point would have been your noms, and what would your HOH, what would it have looked like?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. My nominations would have been either one of two combinations. It either would have been a Sarah Beth Kylan nomination or a Kylan Xavier nomination. Would have
Yep.
been either one.
First of all, I kind of knew you were going to say that, but go ahead.
Yes, but those I
girl.
would have played between the two of them because Kylan and Xavier made sense because they both nominated me. But honestly, I was growing such an organic relationship with X that I don't know if I would have wanted to nominate him, but that would have made the most sense in terms of like, you both put me up on the block, here you both go. But at the end of the day, it very well could have been an SB Kyland HOH. And to be honest with you, my one-on-one process, I joke that it wouldn't have existed. I'm being really honest, because at that point, I had been on the block so many times. I had so many promises like made to me that were broken. I was like, I owe none of you anything in this game. I may not have had them. I may had just had like one-on-ones with Azza and Big D and the people that I was like, you know what, like I'm really like this. What do y'all think what's your read? What are you thinking? But ultimately, I really had jurisdiction to do just about whatever I wanted and have an explanation for it at that point. So, I mean, maybe I would have done one-on-ones, but they would have literally been like 5-minute stops. Like,
yeah.
No one was going to sway me from what I wanted to do it. It was so long. One-on-ones were so long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially if you're, a lot of us have watched live feeds and saw the one-on-ones in, with some specific people, some of their one-on-ones, Kylan, was, it was just like, whoa, this does not need to be this long. It's one thing and then it sways to another. And then it was just like, I don't respond to you, you respond to me. And it was just very much of a, like, where are we going with this? I think, if you have a plan, you have a plan. Maybe a plan B, sure. You don't need more than a plan. I don't know.
No,
you don't need more than a plan C unless you were dealing with that crazy roulette. But I mean, other than that, that doesn't make sense. How much have you watched? Like, tell me, like, what is it you came out? Have you watched anything? Oh,
hi. Is Huey my dog? No. No, I have no idea who Huey's dog is.
Oh my gosh. This is great. So, is there a lost dog? Did someone find a dog?
Apparently there's a lost dog too. There's never this much traffic in my neighborhood.
They just know.
They just know. But no, there is apparently a lost dog in my neighborhood. That's probably why my dogs are going nuts. But no, honestly, what was the question? I'm so sorry.
It's so funny because hey, anybody in the chat, do they remember what we were just asking? Because I totally lost track too. We were talking about the one-on-ones.
What have I watched so far?
Yes, that was the last question was, what have you watched so far? Have you watched the first episode? Are you planning on waiting? Have people sent you?
I have not watched any of the episodes. I've watched some of the competition clips. I had to watch Kingdom of Kur a lot. I just needed to watch it because I was like, how did they portray me screaming on this machine? And Oz's narration was one of the single-handedly best things that I've ever seen in my entire life, in terms of like, the thunder started rumbling and everything started going ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And then a screech came on and she was like, yeah. And oh my, it was just so funny. It was so funny. I watched that competition. I watched Funtan, but it was funny because like in Funtan Lotion, they had me narrate the competition and then they showed me going first. And I didn't compete until 4th. I was 4th out of 6 to compete. So I was like, are they going to think something's odd because the plane's already wet?
It's kind of, I think maybe some people have caught on, some haven't.
Yeah.
Sometimes the editing is way off. I've watched my season and I don't even think I've watched it fully because after I left, I was like, why do I care to watch? Like, I mean, for purposes of, of other things. But anyway, um, but editing is quite off. Don't
Crazy.
feel, yeah, don't feel bad that people are saying this is how, like, there's people that are like that know you as just the Britney that was on the edited shows. And
Correct.
then there's another side of fans that know you as the Britney from live feeds. And so
Yes.
it's like you have two different types of fans because
Yes.
it's like, well, you did this, this, and this. And it's like, I don't remember it really going like that. And it would be probably because the edit kind of made it seem a little bit different. So it's kind of one of those things that I feel like you have to watch and then process because my brother was like, I get what you're trying to say,
Yeah.
Jessica. Like for me, he was like, I get what you're trying to say. Some of the things that you said didn't make sense. And then he showed me like clips of like what CBS like did. And I was just
Mhm.
like, wow, that's just not that's not how it went down.
No.
And so but are you going to be watching this?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think I wanna watch it either in the next couple weeks, but also my entire family wants to watch it with me because they want me to fill them in on everything they don't know. Uh,
Yes, that's another thing that family members
yes.
do. That happened to me as well.
So I was like, I'm really excited to do that. But no, and that's so funny you say that because my parents said the exact same thing. My mom was like, on the show, you were known as the crier because you were always on the block. And then on the live feeds, you were known as the exact opposite of that. And then in jury, you were known as the exact opposite of that because everyone in jury was like, oh my God, Brittany looks like she came back to life again.
Yes.
And I was like, no, because honestly, I mean, I was stressed in that house. It is a stressful environment, but I mean, you work with it and you find your ways to cope and get through it in the way that you know is best. But no, I definitely will be watching it back for sure.
Yes. So let's get to jury. How was your jury experience?
Oh my God, it was wonderful. I thrived in jury, Jessica. I lost 15 pounds in jury. Yeah,
Wow.
I thrived in jury. I just because there was an elliptical there and I finally could work out and get a really good sweat in without people looking at me and being like, "Oh, she's the athlete of the females. There she is. There's the sweat." And
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
remember.
I couldn't even work out in the house. I literally could not work out because the first day I was like, "Oh, I wanna see how much I can bench," and I was joking, and I benched like a 115 or something, and they were like, "Whoa, she can bench a 115," and then I was like, "Oh crap, maybe I don't need to bench anymore." So I literally didn't work out, but also I was eating whatever I saw in front of me. And I wasn't really eating that healthy. I wasn't cooking for myself because I do know how to cook, contrary to popular belief. I do know how to cook some things. But like I cooked for myself in jury. I made vegetable stir fries and egg scrambles and fish and chicken and such like clean, healthy meals. And then I was working
Yeah.
out every day. Like I felt amazing in jury. And you also get the unlimited Netflix and Amazon Prime. So like,
I
how
know. It was okay. I always tell people, hey, like I know that we have very various different types of fans, right? You have the fans that are like, you shouldn't just want to make jury.
yeah,
And then the other ones are like, you should really want like, you should really want just to win the game. Forget jury. Like stop talking about going to jury. But there's steps, right? Because you're just like the
yes,
first time it's like don't be the first one eliminated. Don't be the
no,
first one eliminated. Don't be. And then the next one is like make it off the block. If you're on the block, it's like make it off the block and try not to get back on and try not to get back on. And then it's like make it to jury, make it to jury, and
yep,
once you're in jury, then you're just kind of then that's when you start to see like the bigger picture, right? But
yep,
I always say that if you don't win the money, being a part of the actual jury house is the next best thing
yes,
because like I feel bad the final 3 you don't it like whoever doesn't get the money from the final 3 also doesn't get that jury experience and the
no,
jury experience is so beautiful because you get to meet like you get to really did you feel like you got to really know those
yes.
in jury like the rest of your housemates
Oh, for
like
sure.
kind of was there anything like, this is what I was waiting for? Or like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, going out of the house, SB and I had a really interesting relationship upon me leaving because obviously I picked her and Kylan in the pick 2 first. And then she asked me to throw the week 5 veto to her twice in the same week. And it was just a whole big debacle. But like SB and I became pretty close in jury. And like I just really got to talk with her and relate with her. We made a game up in jury called double racket badminton. So much fun.
Okay.
It's like you have 2 rackets in your hand and you look like the objective is not to win the point. It's literally just to keep the ball in the air, like to keep the birdie in the air.
Yeah.
And like we had so much fun playing that. But no, DX and I got so close in jury. I mean, we all did. Like DX, SB, Alyssa, Tiff, Chada, Claire, like we all got so close. We translated the family dinners from the BB house into the jury house, along with like a game night and a movie night every night. Like it was just so much fun. Like you just get to like everyone gets to relax and chill. That's the best part about jury is that like in jury, obviously, as you know, we can't talk game. You're not allowed to. So like everyone gets to like decompress and like just breathe in jury.
I mean, you always kind of have those little slips, right? You always kind of like
those
try
happen.
to talk. Yeah, you try like you
You're
talk
like,
game without
in this one moment and this time in this house, and then they're all like, "No, you can't talk about that." And we're like,
yeah.
What did you think about this time in this?
Yeah, so it's definitely that. Like when what people may not see is just like we are literally hounded by these, by these handlers.
Yes.
And if they even think for a minute that we're talking game, then it's just they'll definitely be like, you're not supposed to talk about that. You're not supposed to talk about that. So it's like, so you really don't. Explain the X situation. Well, first of all, everybody wants to let you know that your reaction to seeing Kyland come in as the last, as one of the last jurors in that round table.
Yeah.
Your reaction was super priceless. I mean, like it was all over your face. It was just like, how happy. Yeah. How happy were you to see him?
The words couldn't describe it. I'm really going to be honest with you because my biggest thing while I was still in the jury house was like, look, and right before we went to roundtable that week, I actually made a pros and cons list for every single person in the final 4. So I made one for Azah, Big D, X, and Kylan because I wanted to go on objectively because if Kylan had gotten that final 3, I wanted to make sure that I had a pro and a con or maybe some pros and some more cons, like who knew. But like I wanted to make sure I looked at it as objectively as possible. But the biggest thing for me with Kylan was like, how do I give $750,000 to someone who, upon my exit, clearly did not respect me? You know what I'm saying? Like everything that happened in that HOH week was after I was backdoored and after I was already locked into going home and didn't have a chance to stay. But like all of the things that happened in that week, everything that was disrespectful towards me happened after that move. And so I really had a hard time wrestling with that because I was like, I want to vote for the person who has the best game. But how do I award someone that money if they don't respect me? I don't know. But then when he came through at 4, I was like, okay, I don't even got to think about it. Perfect. He's there. Yay. Like I was so honestly, I was relieved in that moment. I was like, okay, like Azah and Big, I was also just so excited because Azah and Big D were in 3 because him coming meant that Azah and Big D were in the final 3. That was really where a lot of my emotions were coming in.
And that's what I thought it was too. I thought it was a mixture of everything, but it kind of made it seem like it was just Kylan. But I knew that it was a mixture of everything.
Well, absolutely. Because I mean, Kylan, obviously you got to give credit where credit's due. Kylan won 3 HOHs. He had won 3 vetoes at that point. He had gotten a lot of blood on his hands. He really was making moves that he thought were best for his game. So kudos to him. And like, I would have liked to discuss him in a final 3 scenario, but just him coming in, my biggest reaction was like Big D and Azah are still there. And so is X. And I was like, if I could have, they're both there. And that's all I care about. Them and X. So I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and so then let's talk about the X and Big D situation. I know that, Azah's like your big sister, right?
Yes,
so like you have an amazing relationship. I love that relationship. That I think a lot of people love that relationship. X and Big D were in the final 2.
Yes.
And Xavier went in with a unanimous full vote. Right. Like Big D's close to you. Like you're close to Big D, yes?
Yeah.
So walk us through, like, why not Big D, or like, why did you choose X as the winner?
Yeah, I mean, when I came in a jury, I took my role as a juror very seriously and I took my vote very seriously. I always said that I was going to vote for the best overall winner of the season. And I took into consideration the social game, your mental game, competition wins, and then just your overall strategy on the game. And I felt that between Big D and Xavier, I put my personal relationship aside with both. And I was like, you know what? Let me just look objectively at both of their games. And objectively speaking, Xavier's was the game that I was more impressed with and the game that I thought deserved the $750,000. So that is why my vote went to Xavier. Absolutely nothing against Big D. I just wanted to crown the best overall winner of the season. And I thought that that was Xavier.
Absolutely. I mean, like, well, I'm saying absolutely, but I'm just like agreeing with you. Like, I
Yep.
think a lot of people agree with you. I think, it out of the two, and out of actually quite a few who are left, I think that he did play the most well-rounded out of all of them. It's not easy to be someone like Xavier and try to hide in the shadows
And throw comps. I
and
didn't
throw
throw one
comps.
comp in that house because I always felt like I was in jeopardy of going home.
But you want a cup, and I think that's so amazing. We have, like, when you're someone coming in, you have to give yourself the credit,
Yeah.
because we see it. Winning comps are not easy. It's not an
Oh, not at
easy
all.
feat. It's not
That
an easy
wall was
feat.
not made for me, baby. It was not made for me.
Well, it wasn't made for me either.
Yeah, same note. No, honestly, it's so funny too because I'll never forget Kingdom, and I'll never forget because that when it was the fourth round of Kingdom of Corralada, it was me, Alyssa, and DX. I thought that when like Hannah announced it, and she was like, "Yeah, Alyssa came in first with 147 points, and the two of you were separated by one rep." And I literally got up and started walking to the bench. And they go, "Sorry, DX, you've been eliminated." And I go, "Whoa, whoa, I could win. This could be it." But then I go to Alyssa and I'm like, "Alyssa, what are you going to do if you win this comp?" And she goes, "I'm like, are you going to take the veto?" She goes, "Well, I'm going to have to talk to my team." And I was like, "I love you, but I have to beat you in this comp if you're not going to give it to me." So then I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." And I blacked out.
Well, did
That's
you
what I 60 seconds.
you blacked out? Are you I have to ask, are you physically okay from that comp?
Oh my God. No, totally fine. It was,
Okay.
well, because
No
the whole thing,
whiplash, no, like
oh, no, no, no. It was only 60 seconds. You know what I mean? And like, it
yeah.
was, it was only 60 seconds, but also I just wanted that veto so bad I could taste it.
Oh, yeah, you can
And I
see
was
it.
like, and also the title of the first female to win a major comp was on the line. Like it was either going to be me or Alyssa. And I was like, if nothing else, I want this title. I want first female to win a major
Yeah.
comp. I want it. And I was like, I gotta go get it.
Yes, and you did so great. I mean, it was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just
Okay.
like, wow.
I mean, I had
That
a lot to say no
that's
to at that point
passion.
in that house. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Had a lot
Oh,
to say
yeah.
no about. You know what I mean? Like, do I want to be on the block anymore? No. Do I want to lose in this competition? No. Do I ever want to go on the block again? No. Like, I had a lot to say no about.
Absolutely. I think that's the best type of, that's the best kind of motivation,
Yeah.
is like, especially proving people wrong. And I think you had that mission of just like, I'm not your damn pawn. I
No.
don't want to be on here anymore.
Nooses,
People need to
baby.
start taking me seriously. I know it's a lot. This game makes you feel a lot.
It makes
Um,
you feel all the emotions.
so we're only like a few questions away. So actually, someone more of a comment. Krista says, "Will you please put out the full cover of what you did for driver's license?"
I can work on that. I will work on that. No,
Well,
honestly,
now that we know that Brittany only takes 30 minutes to pull out a TikTok, I feel like
well, because
no, no,
I
just
did
kidding.
a
I'm just
little
kidding.
I did a little rendition of driver's license on TikTok, and then my mother had reposted it to Instagram once I was in the house. And I love singing. I've always sang, but like on TikTok, I just I just never showed that I've sang. But obviously being in theater, I'm a singer. I know how to sing. So like, no, I'll work on it. Sure. Why not? You don't want to see it? Why not?
Oh, wait, yes. She said yes.
Like that
Okay.
song?
Christina, she asked this a couple times. Thanks, Christina, for still putting it up.
Yes,
Brittany, who's your
right.
favorite rapper?
Eminem.
Really?
It's Eminem is I have to say Eminem because I always like that's my karate go-to when like before competitions. Like I always listen to Eminem. Like before like the world championships or before I'll go compete, I'll listen to his rap all the way up until I compete. So he's
Wow.
just become my favorite just because of how much I listen to him because it just pumps me up that much.
I love it. And you did like some amazing raps. Like, how do you even, is there a trick to remembering all of this? Like, what is your
Yeah,
process in like actually storing all of these in your brain? Because as people may or may not know, I don't know who knows in from the fandom, they
yeah,
should know by now is that we don't get pen or paper. So
no,
this was legit you coming up with this with these rhymes and retaining it
yeah,
in without looking at a piece of paper, anything jotted down.
correct. No, honestly, I credit the theater training for it because that's how you memorize monologues is you just keep saying it until you memorize it all. But no, honestly, I really did rapping in the house because I was bored. Like I'm not a rapper by any means, and or I've never tried rapping or throwing freestyle bars before. I did it because I was really bored in the house, and I was like, you know what, I can make some memorable speeches out of this. Why not do a rap? Has anybody done a rap? No, they have not. And then I just created it from there. But no, literally just repetition. And like I said, I credit the theater training. It made the most sense in how I would learn it.
Yeah, well, you did amazing. Like here's Zanran saying Brittany Minaj.
Pretty
So
Minaj. I also love Nicki Minaj. I will tell you, I love Nicki Minaj. She's a queen. Queen.
I do love listening to I don't have a specific, favorite, though. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think, but
I like I said, I only say Eminem because he's just the one that I always listen to right before I compete, and he gets me in like the pump up mood. I'm like, I can go conquer the world after listening to Lose Yourself. Like, I'm like, this is my song.
Well, we'll end this with Joseph. Joseph says Brittany
Sure.
played this game great. She's an inspiration for those of us on the spectrum that wanted to play games like this. How did it feel to tell the others that you're
Ah,
on the spectrum at finale? Did they know? Did they have an idea? What was the reaction that you got from your fellow house guests?
yeah, they were clueless. Obviously, because I didn't mention it at all, but their jaws hit the floor. Like hit the floor when I said it. But honestly, it was such a relief because I wanted to tell them there were so many moments in the house that I wanted to tell them why I was reacting a certain way or why I needed more time to process things or like just like the whole me. You know what I mean? Because it's like my story is such a big part of me and I wanted to share that with so many people. I wanted to share with the whole I mean, obviously I was able to share with America, but I wanted to share with all the house guests. And in that moment, I was so relieved that I finally was able to share my full true self with the house guest. And their reception of it from that day has been nothing but positive. It has been so it's just been so lovely. It really has. And they've asked some really, really cool questions about it. They've all wanted to know more about it. So I don't know. It meant the world.
I love it. I love it so much. And then you all had a little party
Yes,
after finale.
you
How
did.
was it? And you met Tommy.
Tommy's my twin. We are twins. We are the same person in two different bodies. No, I got to meet Tommy, Holly, Annalise, David, JC. Like I got to meet so Todrick, obviously. Like it was such a fun night. And honestly, I was really happy because I had to come home the next day immediately in the morning. Number one, because I missed my family so much. And as much as I would have loved to stay out in LA, I needed to come home and see my family. But also, my Nana was admitted in the hospital earlier that week. And she got out of the hospital the day after I came home. So she was discharged on that Friday. She's okay. She's recovering. She's better. But I needed to make sure I got home in case something went wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But the good thing is she's doing
absolutely.
great. We went to Target the other day in Starbucks. It was a great time.
Oh, I love
But like
it.
it was just so much fun. It was such a fun night.
Well, I love that for you. I mean, I know that it's a little hard. It's almost like like kind of FOMO, but at the same time, you also want to see your family. I think a lot
Correct.
of fans don't don't get the what is it? It's kind of more just like a directional pull. Like there's pull on both sides.
Yes.
It's like you want to be with this newfound family that you have. You've
Yep.
spent so much of this dedicated time,
Yep.
80 plus days, with these individuals, and
Yeah.
obviously coming out, you want to celebrate, you want to
Correct.
be able to meet other people. You are now a part of the Big Brother family. You
Yeah.
get to meet, welcome to the family. You are now my, you are now my Big Brother sis, and
Yes,
like,
Jessica, I'm honored.
and and so you get to meet different, different house guests.
Yeah,
We get to talk game for practically the rest of our lives, and that's
literally.
because it never ends. It
No,
really never ends. And but at the same time, like, the family part is very important, because
oh, for sure.
we've been away from our family for so long. Had my husband not flown in, to meet me in LA, I probably would have left
Yeah,
to go see them too. So I'm glad that was, that was something that we were able to do. But
yeah.
you know what? There's going to be parties. It'll, like, once all of this, there'll be other parties. Have you heard of Hearts of Reality?
Yes, I'm going to the event in December.
Yay! So I get to meet you physically in
Jessica, we're doing a
December.
TikTok. It's official.
Okay, yeah. Everybody's heard it first.
Everybody's heard it
December,
first. Be
Hearts
on the
of
lookout.
Reality. Brittany and I are gonna hook up, and we are going to do a TikTok dance together. Brittany, I'm leaving this all up to you. You pick the TikTok. You pick whatever. I'm just gonna follow your lead. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. This is gonna be one.
Yes!
I mean,
I love
when
it.
we were in the house, Tommy, we did a whole dance routine,
Yeah.
a whole flash mob in the Big Brother house. So, like, I could take direction. So my TikTok life is in your hands, Brittany.
I got you,
Serious.
Jessica. I will not let you down, I promise.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so we've already talked for an hour. I cannot believe this. So
What?
I know it's been so crazy. Thank you so much for doing this. Y'all, like, give Brittany her love. Please, Brittany, tell everybody where they can follow you if they don't follow you already.
Yes. So I am on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. TikTok and Instagram have the same handle. It is Britini_D'Angelo. TikTok is just Brittany D'Angelo, but we are in the process of getting them all the same app, because I'm sure why the
Yes.
TikTok one is different. But no, TikTok and Instagram is Britini_D'Angelo. Twitter is just Brittany D'Angelo across the board.
Yes. Okay. Y'all got that. Y'all got that. I'm gonna have to get on TikTok. I'm gonna follow you on TikTok. I'm gonna try to figure out what to do with my on
Yes,
TikTok.
let's go.
Y'all, I know. For anybody who cares, I don't put anything on there, but my TikTok is J Milagros Plus. And so I guess because Brittany is just so amazing at them, she has inspired me to try to do something with my TikTok.
Yes. Yes, I will fully 100% support. Fully support it.
I love you. Stay here. Everybody else, if you don't already, click like, subscribe, click to receive our notifications. If you didn't like this video, like it now, share it with a friend, share it with people that love Brittany, who is absolutely everybody. So just, like, go ahead, do that. This week, like I said, my birthday's on Thursday, so
Happy early birthday!
Thanks. So I just decided, what better way to celebrate my birthday than to work and and interview everybody that's back out of the house. No, but seriously, that's my gift to everybody else, is to get these, wonderful interviews out. Sunday, I am interviewing Alyssa and Claire.
Yes!
Those are the two. Yeah, and then SB and DX will be coming a little bit shortly. I need to still update those times for you, but if you're interested in any of those, make sure that you smash your notification bell so that you know then when those are up or when we're going to be doing those lives. And I hope that this isn't the last time. Are you still going to be keeping up with Big Brother? Like, are you going to be watching? Sure. Are you going to be, yeah.
For sure. Oh my God. This will not be the last time we talk.
Yes, definitely not.
Jessica, you are stuck with me now. We are friends for life. You are stuck with me now.
There you go. So you've heard it here first. I am stuck with Brittany. We are, it's going to be now the Brittany and Jessica show.
Yes,
So
BB
yes, she
sisters for
will.
life, man.
BB
BB
sisters for life.
sisters.
And yeah, and we'll have you back. We'll have you back to either discuss or recap another show.
Yeah,
Do you watch anything else other than Big Brother? Are you like
yeah.
you
Survivor
you
challenge.
do?
Yep,
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay.
you know,
So I know that it's a lot to get adjusted to, but when that happens, we'll have you back on. And
heck
even if
yeah.
if you watch and we'll exchange numbers, if you watch and you want to just talk again, just let me know.
Let's do
We'll
it.
have another interview. And that's fine. Okay. Well, let's see. Everybody else, just because I'm doing this myself. Um, oh, thank you, Alex. So she says happy birthday and you. Thank you for the super chat. Also, for anybody who also wants to support, a majority of everything that we receive is going to Hearts of Reality, because we do all have to save or I was like, get money. Look at me. I already lost my words. I'm like, we all have to get money. No.
We all have to raise
we
money
we
for a great
are
cause.
raising money. Thank you. Thanks. I this is my breakfast right now. I'm like, I have not eaten today. So I'm thinking that is my blood sugar. That's not letting me speak very eloquently. Um we're raising money for Hearts of Reality. The
Yes.
the link is in the comment, not in the comment section, but in the details below. Definitely, if you feel like donating to that cause, that would be great. I can't wait to see you like physically in December.
I cannot wait. Oh my God. Like, get me on a plane already. I mean, I actually am going, it's funny because I'm going to Florida next week to scope out Disney World. My parents surprised me with a trip to Disney World next week for coming back from BD. So I will be in Disney on Friday and Saturday of next week.
Don't tell Brandon this. Brandon loves Disney. This is how we connected,
Yeah,
because I also went to, I
I
feel
love
like Disney
Disney.
is like the perfect place to go after Big Brother.
Oh,
Like,
perfect.
I mean, so if y'all like see Brittany walking around Disney, don't feel afraid to say
No, oh my God.
hi.
Come up
She'll
to
take
me.
a picture with you.
Literally come up to me. We totally, my entire family will be there and my mom's going to geek out. So,
They all do. Yeah, it's
my God,
really
my mom
fun
will
to
geek
see
out.
them. It's really fun to see them do that. Yeah, so we love you all. Thank you all for joining. And Brittany, you stay here. And then we are going to say goodbye to everybody. We love you guys so much.
We love you. Thank you so much for watching and for
Bye.
the craziness of what everything happened.
Exactly. So, and if you have any comments for Brittany, make sure that you post them below. And yes, we'll see you next time.